Thanks very much for all coming back. I hope everybody's back. Welcome to the statutory licensing meeting. As I say, we don't have many of these meetings because it's only really to deal with policy as the subcommittees deal with everything else. And can I at this point thank all members who sit on the subcommittees for the time that they put into that. It can be quite difficult meeting sometimes, and so it's appreciated for the effort that everybody puts in. Can I start with apologies for absence for this meeting? I presume it's still Councillor Wright and no others?
That's correct, Chairman.
Okay. Any declarations of interest? No. Okay. So there's only one item on the agenda here, which is agenda item 4, Licensing Act 2003. Review of Statement of Licensing Policy for 2021 to 2026. So, Yvonne, I think you're going to take us through this.
Chairman, can I just ask you not the minutes of the last meeting?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I missed that. When was the last meeting? January 2019. Okay, would somebody like to move that the minutes are the correct record?
What I can remember, I'll move them.
It's a while ago.
Seconder.
Margaret's proposed it. Seconder?
Second, Janice.
Okay, thanks, Jan. Okay, thank you for that, Margaret. Okay, over to you then, Yvonne. Agenda item 4.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, everyone. The report before you this morning seeks approval to undertake statutory consultation required to renew the Council's Statement of Licensing Policy. The report outlines that Section 5 requires that the Licensing Authority publish a statement of policy for every 5 years, and the current statement expires in September 2021. So the report and the Appendix A, which accompanies it, sets out an approach to renewing and reviewing the statement for the next 5-year period. Essentially, as we outline in the draft forward to the report, which is at Appendix A, the whole country has faced the challenges of dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, and consideration has been given to the fact that many of our hospitality venues have been closed for periods during 2020, and many have faced the challenge of adapting their premises and services to new safety measures needed to protect customers and staff. So ordinarily we would have been looking at trends and evidence and issues that had arisen during the recent past, but obviously we're suggesting at this point that we undertake the statutory review, but renew it on the policy on its existing terms, and then once the country and the hospitality trade is up and running again and things are more stable, but that we then look at the policy and consider any representations from our partners and the public consultation as to how we should shape the policy going forward. We do have some amendments which we've highlighted in red within the appendix, and these are necessary just to bring the policy up to date in line with the latest corporate priorities, and there's a population change and a slight amendment at section 7 encouraging
yes, I am. Oops.
Encouraging applicants to contact the licensing authority informally and the police to gain specialist advice on developing their application to support the licensing objectives. And there's a slight amendment also set at section 8 to advise anyone who is considering the policy that we've adopted a licensee privacy statement and evidence in support of representations. We've also added the point that at the moment we're conducting hearings online rather than in person, and that this will continue for as long as the public health imperative and guidance remains in place, so that the number of person interactions is reduced. We are still under a legal duty to carry out the prescribed consultation process, and who we consult, and a proposed consultation period is set out within the report. And we're hoping that the consultation will run from March to May 2021, and that we'll report back to this committee on the 15th of June 2021. The approval of the policy is a council function, so we have a proposed timetable to take the report back via Cabinet and Council to seek final approval, having considered any consultation responses, so that it's in force for September 2021. So happy to take any questions, but the recommendation is that the committee endorse the approach to the publication of the Vale Glamorgan Statement of Licensing Policy for the period 2021 to 2026.
Okay, thanks for that, Yvonne. Is there any questions for Yvonne on the approach that we're looking to take towards the renewal of the policy? I think it makes perfect sense. As I say, everything's in so much disarray at the moment. It makes perfect sense to look at it in this way. And just for clarification, the legal position is that we have to renew it at least every 5 years, but we can come back sooner if we wish to. So if we look at this again in 12 months' time, because the time is deemed to be right, we could then renew that policy for 5 years as of then. Is that correct, Yvonne?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah. So, do we have any questions? No. Would somebody like to move?
Michael Morgan's got his hand up.
Has he? Oh, Michael, sorry, I can see your hand waving at me now.
Yes, it's only a question really, because as we hopefully come out of, can you hear me all right? This is
yeah.
As we come out of this lockdown, hopefully, and the pubs will want to come back to life. I mean, last year we certainly saw the greater use of external areas, you know, in town areas and country pubs putting up coverings outside. Is this something that will be addressed in the consultation? And is there guidance that can be given to pubs now as to what they can do if, for example, the Welsh Government say they are allowed to open up with outside serving? Because some of them have outside areas which are not within their licensed area, for example. I'm just wondering, is that something that can be addressed now so that the publicans know what they can or cannot do?
Yvonne,
Chair, can I respond to that?
Yeah.
As in the previous period when lockdown was eased, the Welsh Government have published guidance for the hospitality trade, which set out exactly the sort of measures that they could adopt to protect customers in the premises, and also on the opening up of the outside spaces. So that will hopefully be in place prior to the premises reopening. So that is available and that's online, and we refer, when we do our visits, we refer the premises to that guidance.
Okay, Michael, happy with the response?
Yeah, thank you, Yvonne. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no further questions, would anyone like to move?
I'll move, Councillor John. I'll move.
Okay, so we got Margaret's moved and Rachel has seconded. So I presume all members in favour?
Yes.
Yeah, nobody's dissenting. Okay, well, there's nothing under agenda item 5, nothing under agenda item 6. So can I again thank you very much for your attendance, and look forward to seeing you all on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.